One Piece manga chapter 907. And guys, this might be the most hyped chapter of all time, or at least top 5, because this chapter is the definition of greatness. Like, things I thought wouldn't happen in One Piece are happening. It feels like one of those fan-made theories you hear about, but this time Oda really dropped a bomb. This chapter goes beyond the term hype. It seems like the editors weren't lying about the reverie, it's actually living up to that hype. And this hype we have right now may give us a glimpse of what's there to come in Wano. I'm starting to look at people differently when they say Wano may be overhyped, because this could seriously be the best thing since Marineford. This chapter gave us incredible setups to what may go down in Wano. If the reverie is a setup arc to the events of Wano, then Wano should be amazing beyond belief. I really like where this is going, and hopefully we get more chapters like this moving forward. It feels amazing to be a One Piece fan right now, I'm not gonna lie. Luckily I avoided spoilers because people on Twitter were going insane, so I knew this was going to be a crazy chapter. Just back to back greatness. Oda is pulling all his big cards from his bag right now. Now when it comes to the chapter, we got a lot of information about Big Mom, Kaido, what they have going on, the Rock Pirates, which we've never heard about before, the Celestial Dragons and the Empty Throne, and the Gorosei and Shanks, which was unexpected as hell. And we got a little hype for Wano Kuni as well. That alone deserves a 10 out of 10. Now let's talk about this chapter. Now the title of this chapter is called The Empty Throne, and on the cover page we have the follow-up of Olympus's story arc, and here we have him leaving the Standing Kingdom once and for all, I guess making his way to officially become one of Luffy's Grand Fleet members. And I think we're closing in on the finale of this cover story arc given how many chapters we've had so far, so we should get something else on the cover pages in the next couple of chapters, hopefully something that relates to the overall spectrum of One Piece. Now the chapter starts off with Kaido and Big Mom talking on the phone about Luffy, because Luffy hasn't only angered Big Mom but also Kaido by messing up the smile factories and everything, so he has two enraged yonkos coming at him. And so we learn that Kaido actually owes Big Mom a favor. Obviously something happened in the past, and in return she's using that so she could come to Wano Kuni to come to kill Luffy. And she also stated that Luffy has something of hers, which I think is the poneglyphs that the Straw Hats took from her. And on the other hand, we have Kaido, who is completely against the idea and wants to be the person that takes Luffy out, and that he would kill Big Mom if she shows up in Wano. Now this setup could lead to insanity going down in Wano, because two Yonkos are going to be on the same island looking for blood, and judging from Big Mom's reaction, she is going regardless. So apart from the foreshadowed battle between Shanks and Blackbeard, we may also get Kaido versus Big Mom. And not only that, but Big Mom more than likely may bring her crew with her. The fact that we didn't get to see Smoothie's full capabilities means we're going to see the Big Mom pirates again, so Wano could be that time. So Wano is essentially a cluster of different characters and groups meeting up. We have Kaido, we have Big Mom, we have the Supernovas, we have the Shogun and the Samurai, Marco and the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, like we have the Minks. Like, there is so much Wano has to offer. The real question is, how is Oda gonna go about doing this, because the lineup of individuals showing up is insane. And let's not forget about Blackbeard showing up at the last minute with some sketchy plan. We then move on to the Marine side of things. It's funny because even though the Marines were actually listening in on Kaido and Big Mom, the Yonkos for the most part didn't care, because they do what they want, and the only ones with enough power to interfere with the Yonkos are the Admirals and the Warlords, which is stated in this chapter. The shocking part here is that Kizaru willingly wanted to go to Wano, which shows that he was positive enough in his abilities to take on the Yonko. So clearly there's some hype on Kizaru. Even though people call him the weakest admiral, he might have a lot more than what he's showing. Now Akainu tells him not to go because they weren't sure how strong the forces of Wano are. Obviously this is clearly hype for Wano, because even the admirals are hyping them up at this point. Liberating Wano might be a lot harder than we think. The Straw Hats are going to need as much help as they can. We then move on to Garp. Now I'm so glad that Oda has officially made Chanton and Momosagi canon in the story, because we weren't actually sure if Oda was going to implement them in the story, so this is a good addition to the teams of vice admirals we have in the Navy. The panel with Garp eating with all the vice admirals was one of the highlights of the chapter for me. Now we got a hint as to why Garp is hailed as the hero of the Marines, and from what was said in this chapter, there was a pirate crew called the Rocks, and the crazy part is that these guys are from an era that was before Rogers. Now this is hype. A lot of people are saying that this is Shiki, but we have to remember that Shiki was from Rogers era. So these guys are an entire string of new characters we haven't seen before or even heard before. This could be the lurking legend Oda was talking about, because Garp did say if they make a comeback, it might be too much for the world government to handle. So there is a lot of hype on the Rocks. Now we move on to the empty throne within Maridra, and it stated that no one is allowed to sit on the throne because there is no king of the world. Now I do wonder if the king of the ancient kingdom at one point in time was the king of the world. I think this is probably going back to the Void Century. I feel like this part of the chapter was showing that the 20 key members that created the world government were not as bad as we think they are. Obviously their offsprings are. I feel like this had something to do with the ancient kingdom more than anything, but this was interesting to see. We move on to the socializing plaza where all the royalties are, and I'm surprised the plot point of Charles capturing Shirahoshi would happen so quickly. The funny part is that Charles did it right then and there in such a straightforward manner. Then again, the Celestial Dragons can do whatever they want whenever they want. Obviously people didn't want to interfere because of the backlash they would get. Sai tried to step in but was then stopped by Rob Lucci and the CP0 members. Seeing Rob Lucci again was definitely a breath of fresh air, and based on portrayal in this chapter, he seems to be a more prominent member in the CP0, even more so than Stussy. Then again, I do think there's a top tier division within the CP0, but at this point King Neptune was about to lose it, because imagine having to make your way all the way to the human world, and hours in they're trying to capture your daughter. That's like the ultimate disrespect. Now all of a sudden someone hits St. Charles. Funny enough, this was the same face he had when Luffy punched him back in Subodi, so that was really satisfying to see. Now the individual who attacked him was Don Quixote Misgard. I guess this person is a relative to Doflamingo. Perhaps this is his uncle. Now this is the same guy we saw during the Fishman flashback, and he was a person that was escorted by Otohime, and it's dope seeing that she actually accomplished something before dying, and something that has changed the mindset of a Celestial Dragon. So we know that at least one Celestial Dragon's on the sides of the Fishman, so that was really great to see. And finally, the biggest shocker of all, Shanks meeting the Gorosei. I never imagined a Yonko meeting up with the Gorosei. It feels like a fan-made chapter for some reason. Now it's because of Shanks' reputation that they allowed him to meet with them. We knew that Shanks always had a good reputation even in the face of the Marines. This was shown when Sengoku respected his wishes to take Whitebeard's body and end the war. But the Gorosei of all people, this was definitely unexpected to say the least. Now something is about to go down when Shanks talks about an individual. The same thing happened with Blackbeard, and we saw the end result of that. If Shanks willingly wants to give information about this person, this means that something groundbreaking will happen in the future. Now the obvious person you would think about would be Blackbeard, but again I feel like that would be too obvious. I think because Shanks has talked about Blackbeard before, so it's kind of redundant to bring up Blackbeard's name again, so I don't think it's Shanks. I think Shanks came to talk about the lurking legend, and this person could be tied to the Rocks that Garp was talking about earlier in this chapter. Maybe this person was going for the Pirate King before Roger but failed. Whoever it is, it's going to be hype. But that's pretty much it for the chapter, guys. This chapter is definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. The information we got was unreal. Oda did say that a lot of information are going to be crammed in these chapters in this arc, so my expectations of what's to come is really high right now. But anyways, comment down below what you guys think. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more One Piece content in this channel. It is Pharaoh, and I will see you guys later. Hype.